Welcome back to the Frith Chronicles podcast. I'm your host, Eric.
Scott.
And today we're going over chapters 21 through 26 of Mimic Arcanist. Before we get into today's chapters, I'd like to remind you to thank everybody for listening, along with asking you to like, share, subscribe. That way everybody knows about it and can spread the word, along with wanting to make sure that we mention that the Frith Chronicles Wiki link is in the description down below, along with the link to the Capital Station Discord server. That way you can go over there and join in on the conversation then. With that, we'll get into today's episode.
Chapter 21 is running. So we start off in the classroom taking a test. Gray kind of fell asleep, got distracted during the studying period, so Twain does offer to cheat for him. Gray doesn't really want him to. He gets through the first question pretty easily, but question number 2 is a toughie. It's actually a Frith Chronicles throwback, which I thought was pretty fun to work in there.
It took me a minute when I read it to wait a minute. Oh, yes.
Why does this sound familiar? And he's like, why would they have someone with the basilisk? And I was like, oh, that's why. Twain does end up kind of scouring the room and coming back with how many people guessed for each answer. I do think it's funny that he's like, oh, I'm going to go check everyone's answers and not just, I'm going to go see what Nasbit put down.
I feel like that'd be the more efficient route to take.
Yeah, there's one kid knows this stuff. So just straight to the source. They do almost get caught, though, unfortunately, so he's forced to kind of make his way through it without the help of any cheating. Their next class is combat arts, and as they're there, Novak is complaining that he also wasn't invited to Ashlyn's Cotillion. He wants Gray to help him get an invite. Gray wasn't invited, so I don't know how Gray's supposed to help him with this. It's not like he can just pull an extra invite out of his pocket. For the combat arts class, they're really more just doing conditioning at this point, so they're going to go out and run the track. Ashlyn does challenge him to a race, so we're about to see kind of the newest challenge take place. So
in chapter 22, 10 laps, Gray feels like the challenge that running these 10 laps is going to be way too much in favor of Ashlyn due to her upbringing, and it's kind of an interesting thought on his part, because I definitely would not have thought about that.
Also, you raced a unicorn.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
get you cheated, but you raced a unicorn.
He had the galls enough to do that, so he should be able to at least be able to take her challenge. Ashlyn gets hella upset about this and being turned down for the race, so she just kind of takes off. Nasbit is just in the back not wanting to do this and has zero desire. They start running, and Sorin, Gray, and Ninny are together. They're running together, and everything seems to be going just fine for the first lap, but the second lap we start realizing that Ninny is still clothed in all of the things that she has, and it's starting to kind of affect her. As we're nearing lapping Nasbit, we find out that he was actually very embarrassed by Ashlyn's father to have to run a lap around their compound, which was like a mile and a half. And naturally, Nasbit completely loses. But the worst part is, Ashlyn was embarrassed that she had lost to her brother, who is currently an Arcanist, where she was not an Arcanist yet.
And he's older, isn't he?
Yes. I guess there's a lot of pride riding on this. Novak found out that he honestly can be... Novak found out that he can be brought to the Cotillion as a guest, and while Gray and Novak are running together, Gray kind of gives him this look of, how are you? And Novak's like, oh yeah, actually, being in a unicorn arcanist is kind of cool because I can regain my stamina 3 times faster. Now, we're really glad that Zaxxas did not have some kind of unicorn stamina trinket when he was training like he was with his Phoenix healing, because dang well, he'd have gone for forever.
Not enough snack pouches there.
No. I don't think there ever could be enough. Gray uses this to his advantage and has Twain turn into a unicorn himself, and he kind of takes all of Novak's thunder. And I kind of very slightly feel bad for Novak in this, very slightly. That Gray. I'm gonna turn my Eldrin into a unicorn Arceus too, and we'll just keep up together. I find this very fair because Novak is limited to just being a unicorn, whereas Gray is limited to his imagination.
You gotta take advantage of what you have. So, that's Twain can't hold that form for very long. So, he is more limited than Novak. But I agree. A little bit of sympathy for Novak, but not much.
Right, itty bitty bit.
It does bring us to chapter 23, Father Arcanist Warlord. Ashlyn says that she wanted to race to offer a prize. She was essentially going to say that if he beat her, he could have an invite to the Cotillion. She was then gonna lose on purpose to make sure that he gets invited. So all I learned from this is that Gray picks up on hints about as well as I do, because I never would have gotten that.
Never would I have either.
Nope, that was right over the head. Helmuth does come down. She grabs Gray out of class. She's going to go take him to see her dad. And when she does this, the headmaster is there in the office as well.
I realized 23 was such a short chapter for what it was, because it immediately picks up at chapter 24 with the abyssal trident. It immediately picks up with chapter 24, abyssal trident. Holy hell! I want these rune tattoos so badly. Shit, man.
They're so cool.
So we're getting the description of Volk, and you got his jet black hair that looks like it's been slightly ruffled by the wind and adventure, and he's definitely this super tall guy in comparison to everybody else. And then they start talking about things that we haven't seen before. He has this black mark rune on his one forearm, and then he has a red rune on his other one, and it's got blue swirls going up his neck. And the coolest one of all is the one that he has in his eye that is a gentle golden color. What do they do? I need to know, Shammy.
I know. It's so intriguing.
Oh my gosh. What? Even if you don't want to give me what the eye rune does, I want to know what the black one does for him being a Nightmare Arcanist already. So much. We do find out that Volk is an extremely humble person, that he does not want an honorific title. He doesn't want to be called Warlord of Magic or anything else. He's just whoa, my name's Volk. Very down to earth guy. We also notice that Deimos' trident is still in the headmaster's office as well. And we see that the fragments are there, and we could have swore there was more than what... Well, we find out that Headmaster Venrover finds more, and he shows us that they, in fact, meld back together when they get close enough together. Kind of like that magnet sand or whatever.
It's kind of...
about? Yeah. So the larger the fragment becomes, the more dangerous it gets. And that kind of makes sense. The more of it's concentrated, and especially with having Gray right there. Naturally, Headmaster Venrover is like, hey, Volk, can you use your sword to kind of destroy this, destroy the magic as well? As we know that Retribution is just insanely powerful at this point. So Volk is able to use his sword to separate the pieces, but he's not actually able to destroy them of their magic.
This brings us to chapter 25, the Magic Fundamentals Professor. So we are going to meet our new professor after Professor Zane has left the premises. escorted out, probably. The new professor is a Ren, so related to Zaxxas. The class is having this argument over the meaning of handsome, which all the girls are just like ogling him, pretty much. He's got lots of piercings, his robe is open. This seems like just kind of the spitting image of Zaxxas, like, I'm gonna just show off my body. And he is bonded to a treasure cache metal spider.
I think it's so cool.
It is. It's this little metal spider thing, and pretty much if you want to bond with it, you just have to find it. And it's like, cool, we'll bond. His sister actually wrote the book, and this is kind of some family history that Nasbit is spewing, because of course he knows about everyone who was a god arcanist. The class is going to be on magical plants and elements, and as they're going through, we find out that taking attendance, Professor Wren already knows the Cross family, has probably already been to a Cotillion or two on his own, and he, surprise, is more on the hands-on learning. So he's going to trap them in a cave and let them figure out how to get out as their exercise. He's like, you don't have to do books, just escape a cave.
You have to read books a little and then to know how to escape the cave.
Yes. Get that all-important knowledge beforehand.
Practical application, okay?
It is.
Make sure they retain the information. I mean, I would totally be okay with that.
I think it's super cool.
I was always jealous of reading through Harry Potter in the third book with Professor Lupin's class. I would have loved that.
Yeah, you actually get to practice something.
Yeah, and having that practical exam at the end of it, where you actually have to go fight against things and know which way to go against the different creatures. So it was pretty awesome. But with that ends today's chapters 21 through 25. Next week we'll pick it back up with 26 through 30. And since we have a new mystical creature to talk about today, we're going to go over the treasure cache spider. For the description of it, is a metal spider that stands about 3 feet tall with legs that remind of daddy long legs. This is a steel creature that has spindly legs that were at least 8 feet long, but they're bent in such a way that it looks really compact and everything. The tips of the legs were points like needles, and they threaten to chip the stone floors with each of its steps. The body has appeared to be wrapped in metal and wrapped around ore with broad gemstones and other minerals going through it, like jade, diamond, sapphire, glitter of precious stones as well. The trial of worth for it is essentially you have to go and find it. I feel like that sounds simple enough, but knowing full well this is probably not. The treasure cache spider is a tier 2 spider, or tier 2 creature, so Novak is no longer the weakest arcanist in the room per tier. It is a fable reproduction. Basically the spiders are born every 1,000 years from gold lodes. And as long as the load hasn't been mined, it'll continue to appear. Their evocation is webs that they're able to evoke sticky webs that are thick and difficult to cut. And these webs can be lit on fire, but do not burn through quickly. So just a little bit of fire isn't going to do it all. Their manipulation is gold and silver, and that they're able to manipulate gold and silver as though wet clay. They can shape it and even move it without needing to touch it. So that'd be a really heck of a cool thing to have if you're a rich person.
Kind of sucks if you're poor.
Right, you won't have as much to really do anything with, and you have to find your own. Their augmentation is polish and repair, and basically they're able to gain immunity to poisons, venoms, acid, and entropic effects. They're also able to augment others by being able to repair inanimate objects, even magical ones, or give things and individuals a polished appearance to make them glittery or glitter slightly. So this is the perfect thing against the undead things. No entropics. That one's the big boon right there. With their imbuing, typically the magic often creates items that grant powers of stealth to the wielder, quiet movements, subtle magical camouflage, and immunity to mental detection. Their auras are befuddlement. When the treasure cache spider Arcanist creates the aura, the whole area becomes filled with purplish haze. Objects shimmer and move like mirages on the desert horizon, and sounds seem as though they are filtered through water and become borderline incoherent. Everyone caught in the befuddlement aura loses their balance, can't see really properly, and has their thoughts jumbled. This effect ends if they are harmed, but otherwise lasts until the aura is ended. The innate abilities of a treasure cache spider and their Arcanist is that they can set inherent worth of any object, both magical and mundane, and they don't need to breathe for a full day and can move silently with a mere thought. Their true form type is Egha. The treasure cache spider Arcanist must amass a hoard of wealth that contains at least 12 distinct gemstones, 12 star shards, and 12 types of valuable materials to include like ivory, ghostwood, those kinds of things. Their true form appearance is its body fills with a beautiful crimson liquid that can be seen through the walls of their golden thorax. A long thread of silk trails behind them like a tail, and it glistens and moves on its own. This reminds me of the spiders in Skyrim, the mechanical ones.
Yeah, they're creepy.
Or like anything mechanical.
This thing's a whole lot cooler than those are.
Absolutely.
In the little like dwarf caves.
Mm-hmm. Their true form ability is silk threads, and they are able to create an endless amount of the finest and most durable silk. The silk is slightly magical in nature, it's immune to flames, and it shimmers with untold beauty. And while the true form treasure cache spider can make infinite amounts, it must take breaks similar to individuals who donate blood. So not only do you have this massive amount of wealth to get a true form, but then you could just continuously make silk that is going to give you even more money.
Farm richness.
Exactly. Like they found the farming technique. The in-world lore for the treasure cache spiders are known for their lairs and traps, and most of these Arcanists set up elaborate traps made of silver and gold to protect their wealth and lair. When someone enters, the Arcanist activates their befuddlement aura, and the intruders hurt themselves on the nearest trap. Because of this reputation, most people deal with treasure cache spiders and their Arcanists with great caution. Their real-world inspiration is based on a rare monster found in a video game, specifically junior RPGs. Often in these games, a rare creature with tons of money or experience will randomly spawn during a battle. These tricky creatures frequently flee before you can kill them, which is why the treasure cache spider has the abilities that it does. Such a cool creature. Like, I don't think Shammy has made a not cool creature. All right, and with that ends today's episode. We'll jump back in next week with chapters 26 through 25. And I know we are getting closer to Christmas holiday or any other holiday that you may celebrate. And we are definitely getting the holiday spirits here. And I know I was definitely looking forward to a bestiary for Christmas. Unfortunately, we may not have that happen, but it makes the wait a little bit better.
Sad face.
All right, we'll catch you guys next week.